the Lucid has lowered the Air lease price. It's currently offering a lease starting at just $509 a month. You could be driving a $50,000 car and spending $1,050, and you could be driving an $80,000 car here. So, some of this is what Lucid's doing. They're like 10 years behind the curve, and they're in kind of a wrong economic cycle.
Like, what's the next play for Lucid? Like this, okay, we're more affordable, we're going to lease, we're going to try to get these out there and more play? Or is it, no, we're going to double down and make the nicest dang electric vehicle that anybody's ever seen?
Hi, I'm David with EV World News. I'm back with our resident engineer, Mike Herzog. How's it going today, Mike?
We're back, David. We were on hiatus last Wednesday, but it's 2 weeks later, and we're jam packed with EV updates. And
all right, so let's talk a little bit about Lucid. So the Lucid Air is the vehicle that they came out with first. And I've said a lot, and I think they realized that was probably a mistake. They were trying to make a nicer. They were trying to show that, hey, the Model S by Tesla is nice, but we can make a better, EV, more luxurious. And I think they hit too niche of a market. There's just too many great choices in that certain span. But the Lucid has lowered the Air lease price. It's currently offering a lease starting at just $509 a month. Now, these are not cheap cars. These are $80,000+ automobiles. That's a 36-month lease with $1,889 due at signing. An effective monthly cost of $561.
That's not bad for how nice of an automobile that is.
That's pretty cheap. So in the United States, the average car buyer or a car driver has expenses for their car amounting to about $1,050 per month. Okay, this is car payment, your maintenance, gas, insurance. Okay, so your four big costs. But when you're dealing with a lease, and in that time frame, you're not going to have any maintenance cost on it. You might put some wiper fluid or something like that in it. It's not like you do oil changes on an EV. Okay, so you're not going to suffer from depreciation on this. That. $500 something a month.
That's not bad.
Oh, so even if you pay $561, I mean, your insurance is probably high on that expensive of a car. Say it's $200.
I'm with you on Lucid though. Kind of from the start of it. It's when you get into that really luxury, it's about as much as the emblem on the front of it as it is the actual performance and comfort of the car. And people can make a really, really nice car, but it's, boy, if you're spending that much money, you kind of want people to know what it is, and there's some like, ooh, what's that? That's a sharp looking car, but it's they look pretty good. They look sharp driving down the road. Somebody parks one actually not far from where I work, so I get to see it all the time.
I'm just saying, if you compared this though to, and you figure your energy cost of driving that Lucid, it's probably going to be like $30 a month.
Nothing. I don't want to say negligible, but if you're leasing a Lucid, you're probably not worried about $30 a month.
Right, I get that, but I'm just saying, if the average cost of driving a car in the United States is about $1,050, when you start getting in and you factor insurance, all that, you're only at $800 on this.
Yeah, you're well below the average.
You're way below average. I mean, you could be driving a $50,000 car and spending $1,050, and you could be driving an $80,000 car here.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to push Lucid on anybody. In fact, I think that it's great. They came up with the Gravity SUV. People are starting to buy those. I think it's going to end up being a lot like Tesla did with. The Model S did well when it first came out, but it never was like how the Model 3 was when the Model 3 came out. Model 3 came out, and then the Model Y came out. They both sold like gangbusters. And the original cars, the Model S and the Model X, they each make up about 5% of Tesla's sales. They're just not a big part of it. And I see this is where Lucid's probably going to end up, is this is going to continue to be a car that they sell less than 10,000 of these a year.
It's small, and I get it with the Model S and Model X, because when you're building the industry, you're the leader out there. You have to, aside from just being electric, you have to elevate your product a little bit. So it's like the people we want to get, we're not not everybody's going to own one of these. Not everybody's going to have it, but we want it to look sharp. We want it to perform well. We want people who are influential, whatever that word means to you, and in those spaces. Like, yeah, I got a Tesla. I drive this, and it's a very, very nice automobile. But now that the market is so mature, it's just kind of entering into that space on the back end. It's a little just a different model. And you still see it with the Tesla, like you're saying. Their sales numbers are just so pedestrian. I mean, they're yeah, we sell them. They're fine. It's out there, but it's not driving the ship.
Lucid sales are terrible. Okay, we'll just call it what it is. Okay, but Tesla is the first American car manufacturer that's done well in 100 years in the United States. And been able to survive, right? And Tesla had the benefit of they brought the Model S out in 2012. Well, 2012 we had almost historically low interest rates, right? So it made the car way more affordable for an expensive car. They were catering to a higher level of people because it was a nice car. It wasn't just, and then it became cool and unique to own and drive a Tesla, right? Well, then when the Model 3 came out, because they made it so cool to own a Tesla, and Tesla had actually made owning an electric car kind of like a status symbol, then the Model 3 took off like gangbusters, and interest rates were still low, and they were still low when the Y came out. Okay. And they've only gone up since. So, some of this is what Lucid's doing, like 10 years behind the curve, and they're in kind of a wrong economic cycle. And so they've been hurt by that. And, we know that with what the Saudis are doing with them, it's just going to make that be better and better.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, I don't think they're going anywhere with where they're at. But it's because of who their primary investors are. But it's I'm with you. It's one of those. It's just kind of what's the next play for Lucid? Like this, okay, we're more affordable. We're going to lease. We're going to try to get these out there and more play, or is it no? We're going to double down and make the nicest dang electric vehicle that anybody's ever seen. Or like, how do you, it's almost like the status. We talk about it. Oh yeah, Lucid, that's a really nice car. But to the person on the street, they see a Lucid. Like, what is that? What is that? Oh, it's really nice. Oh, I guess they told me it was real nice. It's cool. Yeah. But yeah, it's I don't know. Like I said, it's a nice car and it's sharp, and I hope it does well. I hope all the EVs do well. And continue to expand. But yeah, it would be worth a look, for that price, especially leasing an EV for that audience that's in, I don't want to buy an electric car yet. Like, I don't know, but we'll lease it. Try it for a couple of years, see if you like it, and go from there.
The clip you just saw was part of our live podcast. If you enjoyed it, don't miss out. Join us every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday right here on EV World News. We stream not just on YouTube, but also on Facebook and X, so you can catch us wherever you prefer. If you found this content valuable, don't forget to like, subscribe, and to share to help us grow. If you'd like to support our work, please consider becoming a YouTube member. It really helps us bring you the latest EV news and insights. I'll see you in the next one.